everyone, this is the Sports Spiral, and in today's video I'm going to review all the games from week 11 of the NFL. There's some surprising games and some surprising outcomes here, so let's get into it, starting with the Thursday night game. The Cardinals took on the Seattle Seahawks. I knew this was going to be a good game. The final is 28-21 Seahawks, and Kyle Murray threw for 2 touchdowns, but was limited by the Seahawks defense that did a better job, and Russell Wilson also threw for 2 touchdowns. So I don't think the Seahawks are that bad of a team. Everybody thought their defense was not doing good, and Russell Wilson was turning over the ball a lot, but they just beat the Cardinals there. So a boost of confidence for the Seattle Seahawks. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely dominated the Jacksonville Jaguars, 27-3. Great defense there. Roethlisberger 2 touchdowns and an interception. They forced rookie quarterback Jake Luton for the Jaguars into 4 interceptions. So, yeah, the Jaguars have such a quarterback problem now. I think they definitely need to draft a QB in the upcoming draft. Okay, so after that, we have the Browns versus the Eagles, and the Browns won this one, but it's closer than most people think. No touchdowns for Baker Mayfield, but he does throw for 204 yards. Carson Wentz throws for 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's turning the ball over too much, so that is something the Eagles will have to figure out. But yeah, the Browns are looking like a pretty good team, and they might finally be able to make it to the playoffs this year. Hopefully, I'm not going to jinx anything for them. And then we have the Saints versus the Falcons. And despite Drew Brees having an injury and being out, the Saints dominated this one and won it pretty big, like I expected. 24-9. Their defense is doing really good. As you can see, the past few games, they picked off Matt Ryan twice, and Taysom Hill started and was excellent. 18 of 23 for 233 yards, very accurate, with only 5 incompletions. And Taysom Hill also rushed for 49 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a great game for Taysom Hill, and the Saints are able to win a game without Drew Brees. Next up, we have the Washington football team versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I thought the Bengals could win this one, but they do not. Joe Burrow throws for a touchdown. Nothing too spectacular from him, but no interceptions. Smith throws for a touchdown and an interception for the Washington football team. And suddenly Washington, it's looking like they're improving a little. So, yes. Oh, yeah, in that game, Joe Burrow was injured, and it's going to be a season-ending injury for him. So that is very, very sad for the Bengals. They have to put in Ryan Finley as their quarterback. So the Bengals, things weren't looking too good before he got injured, and things are not looking much better for the Bengals. But next year, they will have in the upcoming years, they've got Joe Burrow, so I think they're in good hands. So then we have the Panthers versus the Lions. The Panthers are another team that have their starting quarterback out, but they use P.J. Walker as their starting quarterback. He's from the XFL, which is like the smaller professional league, and he throws for 258 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions, and they beat the Lions 20-0, a shutout for the Panthers, so that had to feel good for a team that has been struggling. And then we have the Ravens versus the Titans, and the Ravens continue to struggle. 30-24 win in overtime for the Titans. 2 touchdowns and an interception for Ryan Tannehill. Derrick Henry rushes for 133 yards and a touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He hasn't looked quite as good this year. J.K. Dobbins has looked pretty good though. 15 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. So the Ravens aren't doing bad. They're just starting to lose a few games, and I don't think this is going to eradicate their chances of making the playoffs, but I think they do need to get out of this loss streak that they've been in for a little bit. Okay, another game that I expected a different team to win. The Patriots versus the Texans. I thought the Patriots were looking good. Cam Newton throws for 365 and a touchdown, and Harris rushes for a touchdown as well for the Patriots, but that's not enough. Deshaun Watson throws for 2 touchdowns and rushes for another to lead the Texans to victory. The Texans, both of these teams haven't had too many good moments in their season, but the Texans may be making a bit of a comeback here. And still for the Texans, I think it's a horrible choice to trade DeAndre Hopkins away, and that maybe took some of the morale of the team away. Okay, this is a big upset. I did not expect this one to happen. We have the Dolphins versus the Broncos, and I picked the Dolphins here. No, but the Broncos win 20-13, and they actually benched Tua on this one. He wasn't injured. They had to bench him not because he was particularly playing bad, because he just wasn't too spectacular to win the game. He goes 11 of 20 for 83 yards and a touchdown before being benched. And Fitzpatrick, 12 of 18 for 117 yards and an interception. So the problem about Fitzpatrick for the Dolphins is that he throws interceptions, and I think they just need to stick with Tua. So yeah, the Broncos defense is pretty good. Drew Lock throws 1 interception, but 2 touchdowns for Gordon to lead the Broncos to an upset. So then the next one is going to be the Chargers versus the New York Jets. The New York Jets continue to struggle. They're 0-10 now, double-digit losses. But the Chargers score a lot of points with Herbert. He throws for 366 and 3 touchdowns to score 34 points. But the Jets keep this one close because the Chargers have a poor defense. And I actually think the Jets are doing a little better with Joe Flacco. But still, they definitely need some help. 2 touchdowns and an interception for Joe Flacco. And Gore rushes for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. But the Chargers definitely have defensive problems. So the next up is a good one between 2 classic quarterbacks, the Colts versus the Packers. So Aaron Rodgers versus Philip Rivers. And the Colts won this one in another overtime game, 34-31. Indianapolis is the final. 3 touchdowns and an interception for both quarterbacks here. So a good game for both of them, but they each have an interception. And 41 yards and a touchdown for Jones for the Packers. And Jonathan Taylor rushes for 90 yards for the Colts. And the Colts get the win, and they were looking like a pretty good team. Both of these teams are looking quite good, though. And then this is another upset. We have the Cowboys over the Vikings. The Vikings have looked up and down this year. The Cowboys get their backup back, which is kind of a weird thing to say, because their backup, it's not the starter, that it's Andy Dalton. He throws for 3 touchdowns and an interception. And then Ezekiel Elliott rushes for 103 yards. But Cook for the Vikings, 115 yards and a touchdown, and Kirk Cousins for 3 touchdowns. So yeah, the Cowboys were able to generate some more offense in that one. Then we had a rematch of the Chiefs' only loss on Sunday night. They won against the Raiders here, and they win 35-31. in a good game because these are two high scoring because these are two great offenses. Patrick Mahomes, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Derek Carr, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Edwards-Helaire has looked great for the Chiefs. He rushes for 2 touchdowns in this one, and Jacobs rushes for 1 touchdown for Las Vegas. So yeah, both of those teams are definitely looking like playoff contenders. But let's move on to the Monday game. And yeah, I just don't think the Buccaneers can do well in prime time. They lose 27-24 to the Rams. The Rams are actually looking like a pretty good team this year. But Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions. He still threw for 3 touchdowns. Tom Brady, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, so he's turning over the ball too much. So yeah, I think the Buccaneers can do a playoff push and make it, but they definitely have some mistakes to solve, and they're not very good during primetime games. So that is going to do it for this video. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and check out my other videos. And this is the Sports Spiral. Bye.